Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So this Abhidharma, I compose Abhidharma meditation manual as Edwin mentioned during the COVID time. So I studied these subjects when I was young in the Sherabling monastery in India, where one of the most important, my Guru Taisudru Rinpoche, the main seat of the Palpung monastery, Sherabling. And so I graduated 2000. So since then, I didn't look at these texts again very thoroughly, very detailed level. And during the COVID time, then there's a lot of free time. So I revisit these texts. So normally we study 5 major subjects. So Abhidharma is one of them. So then I found that I think this teaching of Abhidharma might really help, especially now in this modern time, because we have a lot of emotional, mental unbalance. So though the world, the technology really improves, and so many different the discovery of so many things, but our emotional mind become more sensitive, and a lot of emotion comes. So sometimes what we call degeneration time. So our mind is very sensitive. So for this, the Abhidharma teaching might really help, special at the beginning. So of course, in the in Dargar meditation, we have 8 important paths, like joy believing 3, 1, 2, 3. Joy believing 1, 2, 3 is the essential part of the practice, like the foundational and the essence of the meditation. Then the path of liberation, level 5, is the heart of the Buddha Dharma, the heart of the awareness, love and compassion, wisdom. So normally we have this 8 path. And Abhidharma, I think we don't have particular homework, particular requirement for this Abhidharma, but it will help to this main path. Like joy of living, it will help for the joy of living, it will help for the path of liberation. And not only that, these Abhidharma teachings really, the tools are really practical and special, how to work with our own mind, the feeling, the thoughts, the conceptual mind, and then imprint, subconscious mind. There are 3 things, like feeling, concept, imprint. So how to work with that 3 things are really wonderful teachings here. So I think everybody knows, in people who are interested in Buddha's teaching, the one of the important message from the Buddha is, don't take my words because I say so. So Buddha said, you can take my words as like the gold, the people who mining the gold, and they find the gold together with the muds and the rocks, and they cut, smash, rub the thing, and then burn by fire. The more you burn, the gold become more genuine, more fine. So Buddha said, take it, my teachings like that. So you don't need to completely have to believe because I say so. And Buddha said you can apply in your life. and then you can take it. So, and this is a really important teaching from the Buddha, what we call the fearless kind of like guide, that we all are the master of our self. And so it is very similar like the principles of the science. So in 2001, 2, 3, I have a lot of discussion with the modern science, and they are also try to keep the principle as try to do experiment and try to see what things working. So it's very similar what Buddha mentioned. But the difference is, in science, mind is facing out most of the time to experiment on outside. But here, the laboratory is inside. So your body, your feeling, your cognitive, your thought and emotion, your imprint, these are the object of laboratory. So tools to how to explore yourself. And then this, how to explore this self in the Abhidharma teach very step by step, like hand to hand guiding, experiential way. First, explain a little bit, simple teaching, then elaborate more, then go more deeper, then get some experience, then go more deeper. So this is a really, really profound teaching. And as I mentioned, especially at the beginning, really, really helpful. And while I'm putting this Abhidharma manual together, then in the end, I conclude that Abhidharma is not dry at all. As Edwin mentioned, that normally Abhidharma is very famous for dry, a lot of numbers like that. Even in the Sheta, in the monastery, when we study, normally we have this name Abhidharma is dry and a lot of numbers. But when we really practice, it's not dry at all. It is a really experiential way to explore the nature of the mind and the matter. So to explore yourself. So when we explore ourselves, then what is the benefit? What is purpose? So whole purpose is to achieve liberation. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, though now in the world, the material level, lot of development, but the mental, there's a lot of sufferings, right? Everybody has suffering. So how many of you have suffering? Maybe we can do poll question. So how many of you some kind of like sufferings? Yes and no. And I think in the Zoom you can click, and people who are watching in another platform, you can raise your hand. Yes, I have suffering. And then if you don't have suffering, you don't have to raise hand. Okay. How's the result? I cannot see it. Okay, so that's also suffering. So normally, everybody has some level of suffering. And the basis of suffering, what Buddha said, dukkha. So dukkha really meaning is dissatisfying or feeling of incompleteness, feeling of something missing, or sometimes a little bit lonely, sometimes a little bit sad, sometimes insecurity. So always looking for something, always try to fit that incompleteness, like hollowness or incompleteness, something's missing, so never satisfied. So that is what we call dukkha. Dukkha meaning suffering. And suffering is like bottomless bag, bag without bottom. Whatever you put there, it will go through the bag, look like bag is filling, then gone, empty again. And you have to fill again. So very expensive. Dukkha. To maintain dukkha is very expensive because you have to buy so many things. You have to buy clothes, you have to buy a car, you have to buy house, you have to buy holidays, foods, power, fame, money, always looking for something and never satisfied. And then that dissatisfaction is normally based on the sense of me. Everybody has sense of me, right? That sense of me is very sensitive. So if I tell you that you stupid, what happened? And suddenly we feel not good. Maybe we feel angry, maybe we feel sad, maybe we feel why, So the word itself, there's no weapon, no electric wire there, but it really hurts, almost like sometimes cutting through your heart. But then if I tell you you're so wonderful, all of you wonderful, there's a lot of power. But that effect is based on sense of me. What about me? What about me? Whatever we do in our life, there's a what about me? What about me? Always there. And that me normally is very sensitive. Easy to, what I call easy to cry, easy to explore, easy to frozen, easy to disappear, easy to bloom. So now how we can free, how we can be happy, how we can really liberate fame, power, money, possession, all this only temporarily helps. That hollowness, that dissatisfaction cannot be filled by all these external things. And just thinking that I want to be happy, also doesn't help so much. And sometimes when you craving for happy, then you always see not happy, the opposite one. So, for example, when we said, don't think about the pizza, what will happen? Don't think about pizza. Don't think about pizza. You will think about pizza, right? Pizza in your mind, all over the place, there's a pizza will come in your mind. Or if you crave something, what happened? You feel like that thing go far away. For example, if you really want to sleep in the night and you tell yourself, I need sleep, what happened? Sleep disappears. So all these are what we call kleshas. And these two, aversion and the craving, is also cause for suffering. And this aversion and craving is based on what we call ignorance. So ignorant meaning that me, the self, clinging of self, me. So now that clinging of self has two things, healthy and unhealthy. So normally we mix these two together, but normally we perceive unhealthy more. So what we call permanent, independent, singularity. So how many of you heard of these three things? Maybe we'll see the poll is working or not. Yes and no. How many of you hear these three things? Permanent, independent, singularity. If you hear, raise your hand in front of screen. Okay, so maybe it's not working. So these three things are the root causes of suffering. For example, singularity, me as number one, or just oneness, like single, me, kind of like unify all your body, mind, name, job, everything together as me. And that comes kind of like, I want to be number one. I'm very important. I have to achieve the first one. I have to get first. And we think normally my idea is better. My way is better. And sometimes that go to what we call low self-esteem, high self-esteem. So this go to a lot of up and down. So like there's I heard of there's a research talking about like they ask taxi driver, how is your diving skill? I think 70% of taxi drivers said their diving skill is above average, right? And if you have, I will ask all of you, if you have special sport team, your favorite sport team, if your favorite sport team wins, you think, of course. If your favorite sport team lose, you will think, oh, there's something wrong here. Maybe someone play trick. Maybe under money going on. Or maybe the judge or whatever, they are not so good. So that singularity, normally self, me, I have to win, don't care about others. My way is better, and others not so much. And when that manifests in everyday life, then we disappoint Allah many of the time, because reality is not like that. So when we see that what our way is not the number one, or we not achieve that first thing, the best thing for me, or you don't get what you want, then disappoint, sad, then depression, panic, loneliness, all these clashes, all this suffering comes. So that's the singularity. And the second, what we call independent. So independent meaning we want to control, we want to have everything in our hand. But actually, not everything is in our hand. Everything need to connect, interdependent each other, right? So if not everything in our hand, again, then we have anger, hate, depress, all the suffering will come then. Also, list is a lot through that, clinging on independent. So number 3, permanent. So we don't like unexpected surprise. We like this consistency. We like solid, stable, secure. But the reality always changing, always changing, always changing. So when we not see that, then we always have again disappoint, anger, then suffering, all this comes. So in Abhidharma, talk about the root cause of the suffering, root cause of the mental affliction and the suffering is these three things. First is ignorance. So ignorance is perceiving self as permanent, independent singularity together. Then there's aversion and craving. Remember, no pizza, more pizza will come. I need sleep, sleep disappear. So there's aversion and craving. So these three together, then the suffering continued. So now, how to free that? Through the Abhidharma teaching. So to free these things has to be very smart. Remember, if you want to free, it doesn't work well. If you don't want suffering, suffering not go away easily. And this becomes same loop, like I have to be happy, 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 and then more suffering. No suffering, no suffering, then everywhere there's suffering. So no pizza, more pizza come. I need sleep, sleep disappear, right? So similar thing. And the base of all this is the ignorance that holding self as permanent, independent singularity. So, how to free? So in the Abhidharma said, don't fight, don't run away. What we need to do is just seeing the reality as they are. Just see the truth. Learn the truth. Learn the reality as they are. Once you really see reality as they are, you're free. You will achieve liberation. You will become Buddha. You will become enlightened. Just seeing the reality as it is. No need to have special power, special blessing, special mantra, special energy. The most powerful energy is our own mind. Most powerful mantra is our own mind. Most powerful blessing is in our mind. So just exploring, seeing the reality as it is, then you will be free. No need to fight, no need to crave something, but seeing reality as they are. So now how to see reality as they are? Just thinking, so who am I? What I made all these particles and this flesh, bone, and my mind, how my mind works, just thinking like that. It helps, of course, but it will not help beyond. It will not help a lot. It helps, but it will not help unlimitedly. So then, how to do? So in the Abhidharma said, we need to learn first. First, we need to learn being, how to being, not thinking, not just analyzing, not conceptual or intellectually ruminating, but we need to learn how to being with the reality as it is. So being mind. Then based on the being mind, then we need to learn analyze, analytical mind. And then when these two together, then we apply in everyday life, then we will transform the imprint. So these self-perceiving permanent independent singularity has imprint, based on imprint, very strong. It's in you, in your body, in your feeling, in your mind. It's everywhere in you. So you cannot just get rid of those. So you need to apply it together with the being mind and the analytical mind together to apply with the everyday life practice again. Then in the end, you will achieve the liberation, freedom inside, within, the real happiness. So then that hollowness, that incompleteness, that insecurity, dissatisfaction, that slowly disappear. And you feel contentment. You feel real joy comes inside. Even though life go up and down, even though there's a lot of circumstances are not going according to your wish, even though there's a lot of problems, obstacles in your life, you know them, you understand them, but it will not affect deeper level. The contentment, the joy, the freedom of mind is always there. And in fact, these problems will help you to develop more joy, more wisdom, more compassion, more freedom, more happiness. But what I'm saying, happiness is not like drinking coffee. If you drink coffee, that happiness only lasts long for 20 minutes or something like that, right? But also that happiness cannot feel full that hollowness. Even when you win the lottery, that happiness cannot really help to feel the feeling of incompleteness or hollowness or missing something. So there's a lot of research about the happiness, and the winning lottery, happiness helps for a few months only. Marriage, few years. And good salary for some time. But the one thing what scientists call baseline can really change is through the meditation, through the working with yourself. In the deeper level, even when you're not meditate, you feel happier. So normally I talk about we have two choices. If you really want to be happy, I hope everybody want to be happy, right? How many of you want to be happy? Raise your hand in front of screen. So I think hopefully everybody want to be happy. And if you really want to be happy, two choices. One, watch breathing. So in Abhidharma, the first one of the first meditation technique is watching breathing. Or winning lottery, maybe $80 million, you can win the lottery. So which one you want? Watching boring breathing or winning lottery? Of course, most people say, oh, I want to win the lottery, right? But actually, the lottery, even you win the lottery, the real happiness doesn't come by winning lottery. The real happiness will develop by watching boring breathing. Okay, so now these are the how this Abhidharma teaching comes and what is the purpose of these Abhidharma practices. So now I would like to introduce a little bit about the practice of Abhidharma teachings. So in this book, what I wrote, stainless praja, pure wisdom. So in this book, there are 6 main step-by-step practice of the Abhidharma meditation. So what are the 6? The first one is counting the breath. So you just count your breath 1 to 10. And you don't have to worry about the real concentration, not concentration, or you think about the pizza, think about your job, your life. It doesn't matter. Don't try to stop them, but don't try to totally lost with them. So if you count your breath, like breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. So if you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10, then you count again from 1. So if you can count up to 10 again, then whatever thought or whatever emotion comes is okay. Let them come, let them go. Don't try to stop thinking. If you try to stop thinking, what happens? You will think more. And not totally lost, because if you totally lost, then you lost the counting. You don't know, it's number 3 or number 4, and number 5, number 7 you forget. Not number 8. So not totally lost, but don't try to stop thinking. Just count 1 to 10. So that's the first step. And the second step is let go of counting, what we call follow the breath. And just follow the breath, breathing in, nose the breathing in. When you're breathing out, you know the breathing out. Again, the breathing in. So follow the breath. And then rest on the breath. So resting is, so first you breathe from the nose area, around the tip of nose or the around the upper lip. Then slowly you follow the breath through throat and then outside also, then heart, then you entire body you breathe. So breathing entire body, breathing out, become circle. So then inside, outside, balance. Inside there's a breath, outside there's also air, breath. And you rest in this circle and you're breathing in through the entire body. So resting, that's number 3. And number 4, what we call analyzing. So now, up to now, you learn being mind, being. Remember, when you are counting or following the breath, you don't need to analyze. You don't need to ask any question. You don't need to look for any reason. No need to worry about the intellectual, cognitive, conceptual ideas. No need to worry about that. Just to your mind, just being with the breath, knowing the breath, feel the breath. That's all. So first, we are learning how to be with the breath, being mind. And this being mind is wonderful, very, very important. But then we need to have another element, which is cognitive level. So need to analyze also. Being mind together with analyzing. So these two together. So sometimes what we call shamatha and vipassana. So shamatha is based on the being mind. Vipassana based on analytical mind, analyzing. So these together. So now you ask question. So ask 2 questions at the beginning with the breath. And these 2 questions, one related with the feeling level, emotional level, one related with cognitive level, intellectual level. So the question is breath warm or cold? Is breath warm or cold? So what is that question? Can you guess? So please write down answer in the chat box. And this question is related with what? As I told you, we need to ask question with the two level, right? One is from intellectual level, one is with the feeling level. So which one is that one? Feeling, yeah. That's the feeling level. Great. It was a feeling. And the second question, according to the Abhidharma text, second question is this breathing helping me or not? This breathing helps me or not? So that is the intellectual question, cognitive level. So we ask these two questions with the breath. Then slowly ask more questions. What the breath is made up, the air, of course, carbon, the oxygen, and the tradition, what we call the elements. The breath has the earth element that can be lit, like an aeroplane can fly on the air, right? Similarly, there's some kind of pressure there. And they might have temperature, maybe fire element, always moving air element. And also some tactiles. When you breathe in, there's some kind of tactile breathing out, maybe cold, warm, you can touching feeling. So these are the what we call matter. We have this, we are made by five aggregates. The first is the matter. Then, second, there's a lot of feelings, cold, warm, so a lot of sensations. In the five aggregates, first is the matter, form, second is feeling the sensations, and all together. And then, who is recognizing my breath? Who is labeling? That is a cognitive level, intellectual level. And then there's a lot of emotional kind of imprint and what we call mental events. There's so many things need to involve in order to breathe, even unconscious level. So kind of like we are breathing sometimes without thinking, right? Imprint level, unconscious level. Then conscious level, there's so many like recognition of the breath, the name of the breath, and then maybe feel happy, not happy, and then there's so many, normally what we call 51 mental events, many of those involve. And then all this, that's a number 4. And then number 5, all this is based on the consciousness. So 5 skandha, who we are through the breath, the matter, then we recognize a lot of sensations, feeling, then the recognition, the talking about the breath, labeling, then the imprint, unconscious level, then all this based on the consciousness, number 5. So matter, feeling, concept, imprint, and a lot of mental factors, and all this based on the consciousness. So 5 skandha. Discover through the breath. Then slowly, we see, how is my breath stable or changing? And the breath is always changing, impermanent, right? The new air, oxygen is coming. The carbon dioxide, the old, sometimes what we call death air, fresh air and death air. Death air is going out. Fresh air is coming in. And always changing. Not just your breath is changing, your lung, entire body is changing. So then we see, the breath is impermanent. So this is number 4, analyzing the breath. And number 5, then mind turn inwardly, your body. So in the Abhidharma talk about the 4 foundational mindfulness. So mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feeling, mindfulness of the mind, and the mindfulness of the phenomena. Mindfulness or awareness, similar here. So these 4 things in you, your body, and within the body there's a feeling and sensation. And then there's a lot of thought and emotion, the mind. Then all together phenomena. The body, feeling, the thought, all together as me, as phenomena. So to see these 4 things inside you. And by seeing that, what happened? Then slowly, singularity, permanent, independent, that unhealthy sense of self automatically dissolve. No need to fight with it. Automatically, slowly will transform. And so when that unhealthy sense of self dissolve, then what happened? The wisdom arise. Love and compassion arise. Awareness arise. So the healthy sense of self manifests. Self, which is not single, so many pieces. That's healthy. Sometimes what we call multiplicity. So many pieces. Seeing pieces is good. And then interdependent self. Self which is not, though pieces, not single, but they connection. Everything connect each other. The connection is so strong. Connection matters. Everything connect each other. They are bound by connection, your body, your feeling, your mind, consciousness. Even in your body, there's so many pieces like eyes, ear, nose, tongue. All they are connecting each other. And in your mind, there's a feeling, there's a thought, there's emotion, there's imprint, there's 6 consciousness, so many things. They are connecting each other, they're bound each other. So who you are is connection. Who am I is connection. Sometimes what we call aggregates. Many things comes together. And this togetherness is very strong. And number 3, what we call impermanence. And they're together. And they not just stay there. They're changing, evolving, transforming, changing. Can change negative way, can change with a positive way. If we engage with the awareness, wisdom, love and compassion, we change into positive way. Everything transform, positive way. But if we follow ignorant, aversion, craving, then we have a lot of suffering. we change into suffering. We change more kleshas, more sufferings, and we bind by ourselves. So, for example, if you want to cook something, first, what do you need? So many things, right? All the vegetables, water maybe, oil, salt, pot, the stove, and cooking things, so many things. You have to have pieces. Without pieces, you cannot cook, right? So that's the multiplicity. Everything has pieces. Then second thing, what do you have to do? You have to put all this together, all the piece. So stove, you put the pot on the stove, and then on the fire, put the oil, cut the vegetables, put together, mix together. So second is interdependent connection, put together. That's the second thing. Then what happened? Number three, it changes. The food first is raw, and then a little bit become more cooked, and then ready to eat. It changes. So that's impermanent. So there's a universal law. The rule of the universe has pieces, and they connect each other, and they're changing, impermanent. When you see that in yourself, then unhealthy sense of self, permanent, independent, singularity, the grasping of these three disappear. And then awareness, love and compassion, wisdom arise. Wisdom develop in you. Then the real happiness comes. The hollowness will be full. Contentment become automatic, spontaneous, even though life is a lot of up and down. Okay, so this is the general overview of Abhidharma Kosha, and actually I cover many of the key things in this book, the Abhidharma menu. So maybe let's try to practice the first step, the counting the breath. So everybody, please keep your spine loosely straight and relax muscles in your body and close your eyes. And now count your breath from 1 to 10. So breathing in, breathing out, 1, breathing in, breathing out, 2, like that. And natural breathing. You can breathe from the nose. And if your nose totally stuck, then you can breathe from the mouth. But normally breathe from the nose. And you don't need to do special deep breathing or particular breathing, just natural breath. Yeah, now just count your breath. And while you're counting the breath, maybe your work, your family, your past, your future plan, whatever comes, let them come, let them go. So do not stop them, but try to count 1 to 10. And now if you want, you can let go of the counting. Just follow the breath. Begin with your nose, around your nostril area. Just breathing in, breathing out. When you're breathing in, you just nose the breathing in. When you're breathing out, you know that you're aware that breathing out. Now, try to feel your breath. Maybe there's a temperature. When you're breathing in, it's a little bit cold. When you're breathing out, a little bit warm. Maybe there's a pressure in the breath. And when you're breathing in and out, there's a lot of sensations. You feel, of course, temperature, tactile around the breath, around the nose. And maybe your mind or body feels pleasant or unpleasant. If you don't breathe, you feel unpleasant. When you breathe, actually you're feeling pleasant. Normally, we don't know about that. We are not aware of these feelings. And there's a lot of thoughts labeling the breath, right? Breathing in, breathing out, you have to say in your mind. You have to think. The labeling, the conceptual mind. Now breath is coming in, or no, going out. Okay. Or maybe I don't know how to watch the breathing. Maybe my meditation is not good, or maybe it's good. Maybe this is not the meditation. So many things there, right? With the breath. And all this is fine, just discovery. Remember, in Abhidharma, whatever you discover, that is wonderful. That is practice. Whether that thing is positive, negative, it doesn't matter. Just need to discover it. Just need to find them. So you find sensation, you find feeling, you find thought, you find emotion with the breath. So it's wonderful. Okay, so this is just a simple practice of Abhidharma style of step by step to lead to see the nature of ourself, the nature of the mind and the matter. And by seeing that, we are free from the ignorant aversion, craving, and they will transform into awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. So this transformation comes automatically. So freedom comes automatically, happiness comes automatically. The liberation comes automatically if we create the cause and condition, just like Abhidharma says. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Just before we say goodbye to you, I want to let everybody know that shortly I will be explaining to people all the various elements of the transmission for the Abhidharma, or the different retreats and the online programming and so forth. So if you want to hear more about this transmission, please stick around. But now, I want to just thank you very much, Rinpoche, for your clear, as usual, instructions that makes these teachings so accessible to us. We are really happy that you have written this practice manual to accompany these ancient and wise teachings, the words of the Buddha. And we really look forward to seeing you again next week and in the weeks to come, and being with you on this 12 months journey where we can explore our mind, our hearts and minds, and particularly see all the really, really dumb ways that we create our suffering. So we really look forward to spending more time with you, and thank you so much. Yeah. All the best, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
See you soon, everybody.
Bye-bye. Yeah. So for those of you who are staying around, we have a little slideshow presentation for you that we can go over the various elements of this year's transmission on the Abhidharma. And the next major program that will be happening is next weekend, the weekend of the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of August. A retreat already signed up for next week's retreat. Please do so. We would love to see you. Rinpoche, of course, will be expanding on the teachings that he gave just now, and going into much greater depth, and particularly sharing with us numerous practice methods that we can do to explore the mechanisms of our heart and mind. So the next slide, there we go. Yes. So this will then be followed throughout the month of August by a series of interviews on what we call the Voices of Buddhist Psychology. Joseph Goldstein, Daniel Aitken, Beth Jacobs. We had Rinpoche today. So more information about this can be found if you log on to Turgar's website, particularly to Vajrayana.turgar.org, our Vajrayana Online program. And so each week, beginning next Wednesday with Joseph, and then the following week with Daniel, and the following week again with Beth Jacobs. And the guides, I will be one of the guides together with Tsuma Kunsun Pamo. And we will conclude the end of August on the 31st with a session with Kunsung and I. So please sign up and join us for our Voices series in the Buddhist Psychology course. And then next, so the online this is a year-long transmission that's just beginning now and will go right through until June of 2025. And this is part of an exploration with Rinpoche, a roadmap for the human mind that explores Vasubandhu's treasury of Abhidharma, explored through the lens of Mingyur Rinpoche's text that he wrote called Stainless Prajna. And I can see Kezia is putting links in the chat for you to find more details about this. We have a number of online events throughout the rest of the year. I mentioned the program at next weekend, the retreat. There'll be the transmission, the reading transmission from the Stainless Prajna in November. There'll be more webinars and discussions with some other noted Buddhist scholars and dignitaries, Judson Brewer, Thupten Jinpa, who is His Holiness Dalai Lama's translator, and then of course Bhikkhu Bodhi, who's one of the world's best-known Theravadan monks, Western Theravadan monks, who's done a lot of translations of the early Buddhist texts. And then, of course, there'll be another retreat to be confirmed in June that'll conclude this on the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And then I think we have one more slide that, yes, here we go. So this lays out the complete annual transmission, starting today with the Buddhist psychology, Mind Explained, the voices coming up over the next 4 weeks that I mentioned, and then beginning in September for 2 months, September and October, we have the Essence of Buddhist Psychology on Vajrayana Online, and then from November through to July next year, we have the immersion courses on the Buddhist Psychology immersion course. So each week you'll get a video from Mingyur Rinpoche, from Kunzung, a reflection from me, and if you've been part of our Vajrayana Online programs before, there's a lot of references to material. There's guided meditations. There's a wealth of details, practices, teachings, etc., that we will share with you each week.